The 2026 USAC National Sprint Car season is set to kick off tonight at the Volusia Speedway Park. We're going to talk about everything that is expected throughout the course of this season. We're going to take a look back at last year, some things that we are most excited for, and of course, championship, rookie of the year, and breakout driver predictions. It's going to be a fun video. Make sure you stick around. This is Sprint Car Central. Welcome into Sprint Car Central. It is Monday, February 9th, 2026, and today we have, again, the USAC National Sprint Car Series preview show. Very excited for it. It's going to be a fun year, an exciting year. We have a new champion that we are watching defend the crown for the first time. We have plenty of guys who are looking to kind of dethrone that 3P of Kyle Cummins. But we've got a lot of other guys in this conversation, too, that we're really excited just to kind of hear about, learn about for the first time, and see what they bring to the table for the first time, even in some of their cases, to the USAC Sprint Car Series. So, again, welcome in. This is Sprint Car Central, and let's go ahead and get into it. We got to start by taking a look back at last year. So, a year in 2025 that felt like it was destined to be the year for Kyle Cummins. Justin Grant had another down year that we weren't quite expecting. Some other guys just kind of didn't live up to the potential or the hype. And the biggest threat was Mitchell Moles. Cummins was able to get the job done, and it all started with a big week at Winter Dirt Games, which is what we're talking about. What we talked about yesterday. We previewed Winter Dirt Games starting tonight at Volusia, going all the way through the weekend at Ocala. Kyle Cummins was able to take care of business there, and that's kind of what prompts a really good season, what kickstarts a really good season. So excited to see if they're able to get it done again this year. Not the fastest team in practice yesterday from what we saw, but I think there's still a lot of room for improvement, and I really think that Cummins is going to be one of those guys who certainly does not go down without a fight in terms of defending that championship. The rookie of the year last year was Gunnar Setzer. He took that crown home by 4 points over Hayden Reinbold over the course of the full season. It was a really fun battle. Hayden Reinbold came on at the end, but just not quite enough, I don't think. Well, clearly not quite enough, but not quite enough in general to kind of overcome the slow start to the year. And to be honest, they were relatively slow again yesterday in practice. Not quite what I expected, especially as somebody who wrote him down as a potential breakout driver this year. I think that there's a lot of potential for Reinbold, but over the course of the last couple of years, and last few years, he's been a very quiet guy, somebody who's really come along slowly through the USAC midget ranks, now into the sprint car, and just kind of trying to get a feel for everything before he gets too far. And I think we'll see some improvement in quite a bit of it, but how far will he go is kind of just up to equipment and his overall capabilities and talent at this point. The biggest storyline I'm looking for this year is Justin Grant. Can he return back to the top? His 2 down years in a row, not something we've expected from Justin. Of course, an injury, if I'm not mistaken, back in 2024 really was the hindrance to his year then. But this year, or last year, it just felt like they weren't quite there all year long. It felt like there was there were some things missing. And while he was the USAC driver champion over the course of the 3 series, the sprint car stuff seemed like it was just a little bit behind. That Top Motorsports number 4 just felt like it was a little bit off. Now, he is the all-time winningest driver at Winter Dirt Games, which is a great sign because they were the fastest in practice yesterday. A team that I'm expecting to really bounce back this year and come on with a full head of steam is that Top Motorsports number 4. You look at some other storylines. How fast is Robert Blue going to be able to get back on track and back to his winning ways? Of course, a pretty serious injury last year, fracturing multiple thoracic vertebrae, that being T4 through 6, I think it was, if I read that correctly. And that's going to be the biggest storyline because he's coming back for the first time since Indiana Sprint Week last year. That's a long time out of a race car, and if he's going to be able to get in the car and be fast right away, great. Um, but honestly, just kind of curious to see how long it takes. We talked about it yesterday a little bit in that preview for the Winter Dirt Games of what we saw with Brian Brown, of course, coming back from a totally different injury, wrist injury versus back injury. I understand the differences, but hear me out. It's still a long time outside of the race car. How quick can he get reacclimated? And honestly, it does fare similar in the sense of this. Brian Brown was worried about that wrist injury, and rightfully so. Definitely started stiffening up on him. It was cold last week. It's not supposed to be much better this week in terms of the overall air temp. Robert Blue maybe a little tight in that back. Still have a little bit of concerns about that. We'll see how long it takes him to get back in it, but he's expected to be ready to go this week, and we'll see where he's at. I would love to see him back at the top step of the podium at some point this season. I think it's going to take some time, but he will get there. We've got a new points fund for the USAC National Drivers Championship. That's, of course, the title that Justin Grant won last year, of course, handed out over the points of all 3 series. Up to $20,000 this year. The overall points funds have increased tremendously over the last few years for the USAC Sprint Cars and really for the USAC series overall. The one I think that was falling behind a little bit was Silver Crown, but I think with the new announcements with Cody Swanson taking over a little bit more in a bigger role with USAC, that's going to change, I think, going forward. I'm really excited for the Silver Crown season. We've got a big preview of that coming later down the line. But for right now, the sprint car side of things, this is still a big deal, that extended purse that they're going to have going forward this year. What we do know is we have at least 14 full-time drivers signed up for the series as of right now, or committed to run the series as of right now. As of the moment, we only have 2 Rookie of the Year contenders, and I'm a little surprised by that. They're not considering Logan Calderwood a Rookie of the Year contender. I'm a bit surprised by that because as far as I'm aware, he did not run that many races. I think he had 11 races under his belt. Maybe I'm just misunderstood on that, or maybe I missed something last year in that. But I did not expect him to be getting not be considered a Rookie of the Year candidate, at least based on what I was able to see. But what I do see and what I do have here is Shelby Hinton and Cale Coons. Of course, Shelby Hinton in the 2B. Cale Coons going to be in that 63, that Curb Agajanian funded car. It's going to be really fun to watch. I'm excited to see Cale Coons in the car, but I'm really excited for Shelby Hinton. I think this is a really cool opportunity for him as well. Going to be a fun battle. Going to be a fun season. Again, 14 drivers full-time in 2026. That's probably the healthiest roster we've seen in quite a while. And, of course, a lot of guys who are going to be taking part in multiple races throughout the course of the year. Of course, Brady Bacon's going to be finding his time there certainly this year. You're going to see Dason Pursley a little bit, I would presume, unless there's a stipulation with the KKR deal. You're going to see a lot of guys, I think, coming over and running a little non-wing stuff this year. So that's going to be a pretty exciting situation in its own right. As we go forward, looking through the season, of course, it's headlined by a lot of big-time events. You have Winter Dirt Games to start the year. You have Indiana Sprint Week later down the line. You have Eastern Storm, which is always a really cool event. I think that's the thing I'm most excited about this year is Eastern Storm. Getting to see that. Pay a little bit closer attention to that this year. If I'm being completely honest, the one thing that I've really slacked on in my ability to watch and pay close enough attention is the USAC Sprint Car side of things. Really excited to pay a lot closer attention, be a lot closer in the depths of everything. Look, I'm not a person that's going to sit here and lie to you. There are things I do not know when it comes to the USAC Sprint Car world. And a lot of that comes down to, like, just the minute details, right? The Logan Calderwood situation, why he's not a Rookie of the Year candidate, along with some other minute details in terms of the roster. But what I can tell you is that USAC Eastern Storm, if you haven't gotten a chance to at least pay attention to it a little bit, this is one of those events you definitely want to. Of course, the Indiana Sprint Week's great. This week's going to be a lot of fun. I love Ocala. That's really one of the most fun tracks that I can think of to start a year off. But Eastern Storm, again, I can't say it enough. It's going to be a lot of fun. Of course, the Four Crowns going to be its own thing. We're excited for that too. But that's my top event of the season right now. Is going to be Eastern Storm. I also didn't want to go homers and say Four Crown. My breakout driver, I said Hayden Reinbold. I'm going to stick to Hayden Reinbold. Look, I'm not gonna falter on it. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm gonna drop off after a practice day. Certainly concerned after practice day, but I'm gonna stand with it. This is a prediction I made a few days ago. I'm gonna stand here and stand in the paint, right or wrong on it. Now, another guy that came to my mind here was Chase Stockton. Now, he's gone a little bit back and forth on whether or not he's truly. I went back and forth on whether or not he'd truly be a breakout contender, but I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt there. I'm gonna say it would be a breakout year if he has a couple wins and starts really really realizing some of the talent. He's another guy who's kind of come on a little bit slower than we've expected, but has certainly showed up at times. And I think that Chase Stockton's going to come away with a win this week. That's going to be one of my bold picks for the season. Now, I'm not making too many of those because, to be honest, I don't really know what would be bold or what wouldn't be, or what I could consider bold or not. What I will say is my rookie of the year is Kyle Cummins. I think he's going to be the one to get it done there. And then my champion for the season, I think Justin Grant. I talked about it earlier. This team's going to get back up on top, and I, no pun intended, as it's Top Motorsports, but I just expect Justin Grant to have that 4-car back up front. I think there's a fire lit under that team. They're succeeding everywhere else. Justin Grant's succeeding everywhere else, but not quite as much in that sprint car. They want to get it back up front and back towards back on that top step of the points. So Justin Grant is my 2026 championship pick. I think Robert Ballou's going to win. I'm going to pick Ballou to win 3+ races. I think that's a safe but also still relatively bold pick because how quick is he able to get back and comfortable in the race car? That's going to be a certain question. And those are kind of some of the interesting little picks and nuggets. I'll say a bold pick. Chase Stockton wins a race this week. I said it a minute ago. We'll stand to it. We'll give you that. So my 3 predictions, 3 bolder predictions. Ballou wins 3+ races. Stockton wins a race this week in Winter Dirt Games, and Justin Grant collects another championship in the USAC Sprint Cars. So with that said, let me know what you guys are excited for this year. Fill me in on something. If I miss something, please, by all means, help inform those who tune into this video after you. Look, I'm not perfect. I'm not always going to be right. And certainly in this situation, there are some things that I just haven't quite got perfected yet. Working to improve these videos day in, day out. We've got a lot of fun stuff planned here going forward. I'm really excited for what we have and what we're trying to build here at Sprint Car Central. So I ask you guys, if you got this far in the video, please leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and make sure you hit that notification icon because we got a bunch more content coming. We got an interview with All-Star Circuit Champions driver, at least last year, All-Star Circuit Champions driver Bobby Elliott. Hasn't confirmed or denied what he's doing this year. We got an interview with him coming up soon. We've got plenty of other videos on this channel. We just recapped the Dirt Car Nationals for the World of Outlaws, along with a bit of a preview for the 2026 edition of the Winter Dirt Games. And plenty more to come. We got a high limit season preview still to do. We've got an All-Star Circuit Champions season preview still to be done, along with a USAC Midgets and USAC Silver Crown preview to be done. So we are far from over on the previews, but we're also far from over on the content. Make sure you stick around again. That'll be the last time I say that in this video. But thank you all so much. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. And with all that said, we will see you guys in the next video here on Sprint Car Central.